Laura Boni, Ginger Generation. Hi. Your characters individually are really interesting, but what the audience fell in love is the relationship between the two of them. We saw them in the first and second season to fall in love. Now the relationship is established, but I wanted to ask you, how do you think the relationship grew in this last season? And what do you wish for your character individually and as a couple for the future, if it was up to you, of course?
Ovviamente diciamo, le persone si sono affezionate a varie cose e anche al rapporto che c'è tra i vostri due personaggi, quindi Nancy e Jonathan. Abbiamo visto questa storia d'amore nascere nelle prime due serie, nelle prime due stagioni, e vorrei sapere secondo voi come può crescere questa storia d'amore tra loro due, come si potrà evolvere?
Yeah, no, you know, where to start? I mean, they, you know, when we meet them, they're these two people who really have, it seems like, nothing in common, very different social circles, and they're brought together by this shared need to figure out what's going on. So there's a connection there beyond surface level relationships. You know, I think there is something about that sense of shared trauma and going through these big experiences that change you and shape you, and you only share that with, you know, somebody or a group of people. I think that's something that brings you together. This season was particularly interesting because it's the first time we've really seen Nancy and Jonathan together in a context that doesn't involve monsters immediately. And you know, it's nice in a way to explore that. What, you know, it's like, well, what are they like when they're just, you know, regular people? But you know, they've come to a point in their lives, you know, that sort of end of high school. What am I going to do? Where am I going? Who am I? All those big questions kind of come up, and you know, as you grow, there's a question of, well, do you grow together or do you grow apart? So, yeah, it feels like they matured a lot in their relationship this year. I mean, monsters help, but and for the future, honestly, it is so hard to say, because as much as I try to get stuff out of them, the brothers are not very forthright with their plans. I do trust them generally, though. I think they tend to give their characters good arcs. But yeah, we really don't know. I guess my main thing is I just hope that whatever happens with them, it's given enough space in a way, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think every season, as we get more comfortable with the characters and we kind of grow with them, yeah, you feel like you have a bit more of a voice, especially with the brothers. They seem more open to collaboration every year. And yeah, I think ultimately you're just you're much more comfortable, and yeah, they are more. The characters feel much more mature this season. You know, they have summer jobs. They're getting to that age where they're getting into their early adulthood. So to play, being a young adult, I think it kind of tessellates pretty well, if that makes sense.
Diventata adulta, hai incontrato mostri che sono non solo quelli soprannaturali, diciamo, ma anche quelli sul lavoro. Ti sei trovato in un ambiente maschilista, molto sessista. È importante avere questo ruolo anche in un'epoca del Me Too in cui si parla moltissimo di questi argomenti.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting for Nancy. I mean, she's grown so much since when we met her in season 1, and you know, she's been up against this supernatural world, and I think she found a lot of confidence in that and a lot of herself in fighting for the truth and fighting against this big unknown. But it's funny that has served her to be able to confront this, you know, kind of toxic, sexist work environment. But yeah, again, she's really found her voice, and she's still finding it, but she, yeah, and it's so fun to play. But I do think it's interesting that the duality of it, that she's dealing with these supernatural monsters and then this very real life monster, and how she confronts that, and luckily has already kind of found her confidence in herself through that supernatural world. Yeah, I love to watch her grow, and in some ways it's hard to dissect. Well, I guess what I mean to say is we're very tied to these characters after 3 years, because you don't always get to do that and watch these characters grow. So I think the brothers are more apt to listen to us, and I think we also feel more and more passionate about the integrity of our characters. And you know, like I know for us this season, there were things that were like, no, like this, they wouldn't say this, like that's not how this would go down. And luckily we work with directors who listen to us most of the time.